When I was a child, I loved to read. I actually read a book per day. Well, it was not exactly books, but comics. Spider-Man comics, to be more specific. But when I started to study hard in high school, I lost the magic of reading. Actually, I quit. Then, one day, I discovered Mark Manson in the famous book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. I was reading a book. So, for the first time, I was reading something that I was enjoying. I realized that I was not dumb for not reading for this whole time. I was just picking the wrong books that wasn't made for me. So I read a lot. I read like Sprint, Fast and Slow, The Power of Free Time, Ego is Your Enemy, The Morning Miracle, Outliers, Essentialism. I was back in the game. So I want to share with you guys the 5 best books that I have read. Number 1. Lessons. My Path to a Meaningful Life. Gisele Bündchen. In this book, she talks about her life and what she learned around the years. She was traveling, she was meeting important people, and she talks about workaholic life and how to handle with all of these things when you are 18, when you are young, and you don't know how to handle exactly. So in this book, she talks about her lessons, she talks about everything that she learned, and it's really excited to read something that it was made for you. So she said something really cool. She said, "It is not about running to reach the destination. It's about enjoying the journey along the way. And that journey is made of moments, experiences, and interactions with other people, and sometimes with animals. This is what creates our memories. This is what really matters." The second is The Alchemist, Paulo Coelho. This book talks about Santiago, a young man who leaves his parents' house to find his life's path. And when I first time read this book, I literally cried because we fight like every single day. We discover new people, we know how to do things. And Santiago discovered the world for the first time. He was leaving his parents' house, he's starting his own business, he's starting his own life. And that's really cool because you are in his head, you know his stuff, you know everything that he's passing through his mind, and you realize that you can connect with this character, you can connect with his life, his fears, and all of these things. I really like it because it was the first time that I read a Paulo Coelho book, and I'm Brazilian and Paulo Coelho too, so it was the first time that I was reading something that he wrote in Portuguese, and that's the original language, and it was really cool to know how to find the words to do all of these things. There are 2 phrases that I really like in this book. The first one is, "Because everyone has an exact idea of how we should live our lives, and they never know how to live our lives." The second is, "When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it." So if you are young, you don't know how to do with your life, you don't know what you are doing exactly, but you want to know, read this book. The Ultimate Happiness Prescription, Deepak Chopra. This book talks about how we live our lives really fast. We actually don't have a connection with the present. We are all the time thinking about the future, things that we don't achieve yet, thinking about the past with mistakes that we can't fix now. This book talks about toxic relationships, focus on present, self-esteem, and a lot of things that I will let you discover when you read. There's a phrase that I really like in this book. It's from William Blake, but Deepak Chopra mentioned it in his book. It's like, "To see a word in a grain of sand, and a heaven in a white flower, hold infinite in a palm of your hand, in eternity in an hour." William Blake. It's really complex to achieve happiness. That's not something that you just wake up and you're happy for the rest of your life. Happiness is about a lot of things. 4. The Little Book of Hygge, Meik Wiking. So I have to admit that after I read this book, my whole conception of happiness in life changed. Because I was really workaholic like the last year. Because every time I was like telling myself that I will stop working and take care of myself, but I was lying. Because take care of yourself is every day. Self-care is about taking care of yourself every single day. It's about your sleep, it's about what you are eating, it's about your relationships, it's about your relationship with yourself. So I realized that I need to find balance. So I found this book called The Little Book of Hygge. It's from Meik Wiking, and there's a phrase that resumes everything that I'm talking. It's the phrase called, Hygge is about giving you responsible, stressed out achiever adult a break, relax, Meik Wiking. The last one is the key to happiness, Meik Wiking. Okay, I have to admit that I really like Meik Wiking. His books are amazing. He talks about studies. We have a lot of things to study when we finish his book. I have to admit that that was the last book that I read, so I have a lot of notes, but I will not spoiler anything to you guys. Basically, he talks about happiness, and happiness is about 5 principles: togetherness, money, health, freedom, trust, and kindness. He also said, "We are connecting like never before, yet we still feel alone." So thank you so much for watching, thanks so much for giving your time, and I see you soon.